baby-proofing the gutters?
Get down from there.
This minute! Okay.
Drake Bell and Josh Peck. They've grown up on The Amanda Show, battling lobsters, fending off frog puppets, and getting beaten up by girls on a regular basis. So what's next for this dynamic duo? Their own show.
Okay, I've been having fun making these offended by videos. I don't know if you guys think I take it this seriously, but it is fun to talk about in retrospect. Of course, Drake and Josh is one of the most interesting shows to me. Not only have they had controversies in the past, but they have episodes taken down. They have horribly rude endings sometimes. But some of the more crazier stuff happens within the episodes we don't think are good. Yeah, so today we're gonna be going over the worst episodes of Drake and Josh, the ones that are so bad, it pretty much offended me. It made me feel like I was wasting my time, which, spoiler alert, I always am. But this time it was in bad taste. So what's up everybody, it's Johnny2000. Don't forget to subscribe for more 2000s nostalgia. And we're gonna be diving into more shows like Zoe 101 on Fabulous, more Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Sunny with a Chance. So if you like any of those shows, make sure to join me. But without further ado, let's jump into Drake and Josh. So the first season is really short, 6 episodes to be exact, not exactly a long season here. And you know what? They didn't do a great job at varying the episodes a lot. A lot of the same themes are repeated throughout the first season, as they only really had the fact that these guys were stepbrothers as their main plot, so it would more so be one episode is about Drake liking a girl and Josh getting in the way. A second episode is about Josh liking a girl and Drake getting in the way. Like, it's a lot of the same stuff. I feel like what made Drake and Josh really funny overall is when their dynamic really ripened, and it became more of a character ensemble-like show. One of the prime examples of this is the 2 Idiots and a Baby episode from season 1. I think it was episode 4. Yeah, so this episode was a lot of montages.
Drake's really smart, but he's all about having fun. Fun, fun, fun.
The cold open starts us off talking about Drake and Josh's differences. Surprise! But it's a lot more mundane here because they didn't get to the nitty-gritty of what was funny about their characters yet. It starts with Josh literally doing carpentry in the boys' room and Drake and Josh getting a fight over it. Like, why is Josh the one being silly here?
I can't hear you! I'm wearing earplugs! Oh.
It's so funny that, like, Drake is the straight man in a lot of the first season. It just shows that they really didn't know what worked yet. Oh my gosh, and the drum set was taking place of Josh's bed. Where did he sleep before? The couch? That was crazy. Looking back though, I think it was a good decision to move the couch facing the camera as opposed to the side like it is before. So yeah, when they're arguing, Drake uses the guitar as a way of drowning out Josh, which is kind of disrespectful. Like, this is his room.
All right, let's compromise. We could... I was just gonna say, but I just wanted...
And you're moving in. Like, come on. I just realized we never see, like, the actual move-in. Like, even in the pilot, we just get thrown into Drake and Josh's lives. Oh my gosh, and Megan is so young in this episode. The only thing she really does is try to chop Josh's hair off when he's not looking. So I guess her pranks were a little bit more physical than it is actually like mental or psychological, which she's known for in the later seasons.
Megan, you bring up that song right now.
No, I'm gonna go get a snow cone.
Audrey and Walter are going to dinner with Walter's bosses, and Josh volunteers him and Drake to take care of their child, which is kind of crazy because Drake actually has a band rehearsal that night. Josh defends that this is actually something they're trying to do nice for their parents, which is essentially the bane of Drake's existence.
He's trying to get a promotion.
Yeah, well, my band's show tonight is just as important as your dad's dinner.
And we get to see Drake's band again. Aw, I miss all these guys. I wish these were the ones that were in the Storm episode. You tell me these actors didn't want to come back for that? Come on.
Nobody's talking about an alligator.
Well, maybe somebody'd better start before it's too late.
So yeah, of course Drake and Josh don't know how to take care of a baby. It reminds me of Baby's Day Off in the sense that it's event after event of the baby getting into danger because of Drake and Josh, and it's definitely a stressful episode if you care about children. We get a sense of Megan's deviousness a lot in this episode, as she's definitely working against the boys. But yeah, like I said, it's just annoying with all the montages they use. The transitions are a little weird too. They like pop through so quick with these arrows, and I just can't tell how much of this was scripted because it looks like they just improv'd a lot of this episode. Some of the shots don't even seem like natural for Drake and Josh. I do like it though when Drake hits Josh over the head. Them fighting is definitely really funny up in the earlier seasons. Like, I feel like that's the one thing they've kept. But earlier on, this was also a little bit more physical. Like, it's more Drake and Josh doing slapstick comedy as opposed to really funny back and forth banter. The band keeps pushing Drake because he has to go on soon, which is crazy. I can't believe Drake has an actual performance and is taking care of a kid right before. Josh, that's a negative point for you. I do like that we lean into the fact that the guys are clueless and don't really know how to deal with it.
Well,
It's not bad.
Really? Oh, that is the worst thing I've ever smelled.
I do not like the joke where they're smelling the baby. Like, it's so gross already. Now you have to show me them sniffing it. Ugh, these poor teenagers.
That reeks.
And the catapult that Josh was working on at the beginning of the episode just happens to be a factor in this. Like, that's crazy. So the baby goes missing. He talks about the fact he made a catapult. And of course, they assume that the baby was in the catapult and sent to the roof.
No way.
You see what I'm saying when I was talking about Baby's Day Out vibes? The concern is definitely real, and the stakes are a little too high for what I would consider a Drake and Josh plot. I like how they simplified it and had Drake and Josh getting into situations that were a little bit more against them, in the sense that it pitted them against each other as opposed to them trying to get this goal. So this incident of actually, I don't know, losing the baby forces Josh to call Drake, who's actually about to go perform. Drake faces the moral dilemma when his guitarist actually tells him he should be focused on what he cares about. This is actually kind of annoying because they do this exact scenario in Number One Fan in the second season, where Drake is debating going on a radio show or coming back to his number one fan. And of course, Drake makes the right decision every time. It's a TV show. These are the standards that's forced upon them. But hey, I'd be scared to see what happens if they had creative freedom. But Josh trying to get the baby to say Marco and then Polo is so funny. I don't know why that's just such a genius bit.
I'm running all over the house. The baby won't say Polo.
We do get to see the side of Drake and Josh's house, which is funny because I feel like the worst episodes just happen to feature things that are new or exciting, which is funny because it's like, of course you guys couldn't cling to the script. You had to just give us some lore. Josh impersonates the baby, which I think is genius, but also not even in his character comedy. I feel like this character isn't the funniest at that stuff. But I gotta admit, I did laugh out loud when I heard him on the phone saying goo goo gaga. Like, I can't get over it. Josh accidentally says the word mama, not realizing that the baby never even said mama before. So the mom is like, oh my god, we gotta get home. And the dinner ends early for them. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Josh ends up falling off the ladder and dangling from gutters, which is the perfect time for Drake to come to his senses and actually come home. I do think it's cool for his character to lie that his gig got canceled just to show that he actually wanted to help take care of the baby. Like, it definitely makes him look like a better person. Although, I've never seen Drake look this concerned or serious as a character. I feel like he just gets stupider and stupider as the show goes on. So Drake solves the problem by sniffing out the fact that it was Megan who took the baby. Oh my gosh, Megan. That was a weird kind of low. Like, it's very specific to take a baby from somebody.
Megan! 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 Hey, Megan! At least bring me a snow cone!
Josh ends up falling off the roof and then onto the boss. Oh my gosh, poor Walter. It's his actual son too, so that's like even worse.
Walter,
Yes, sir.
your son is on me.
I'm sorry, sir.
Drake is able to surprise Josh by having the baby back just in time for his parents to come home. So everything is safe and secure. Once again, rewarding the bad behavior, which is kind of funny, actually. It does kind of end on a depressing note as the mom is trying to hear her son to say mama, but he can't get him to say it, so it's kind of depressing. Drake and Josh have more character moments than they need, and they agree that they are good in each other's lives. I don't know what Drake is wearing though, like all denim. This must be like a 90s fiasco. But yeah, pretty unnecessary episode. It kind of brings them together, but they also are brought together at the end of every other episode in this season, so it's not like it's special or, I don't know, necessary. It is funny watching them try to take care of a kid, but like I said before, it feels a lot more montagey than actual plot happening. I do like the catapult idea, but like I said, that seems like something stupid enough for Drake to do, not necessarily Josh. But this early in the series, they were still feeling things out. What can you say?
The baby's missing, the house is destroyed, and my dad's gonna get fired.
It's funny because Dune Buggy and Pilot I've not been able to find on streaming services, which is kind of crazy to me. I feel like those are also not great episodes. Like the first season was definitely trying a lot of things out, but even to reference these things, I couldn't watch them. What the heck?
Because with all the pain and hunger and disease in the world, there's really no better use of my time than to make sure every blessed cup holder is rock solid steady.
Okay, so the reason I'm putting movie job here, debut of the premiere theater. I mean, what more could you want from an episode? There's just something about movie job that just feels like underdeveloped, especially in retrospect, like looking back at what Drake and Josh is so known for, like its characters, its situational comedy. It just feels like it's a little still trying to figure itself out.
No.
Yes.
Oh, Drake, say it's not so.
I'm afraid it's so.
No.
And for me, that's not why I watch Drake and Josh. I don't watch Drake and Josh to see plot develop. I watch it to have a good laugh. And unfortunately, the characters don't feel figured out at this point. Crazy Steve debuts here, and I feel like he's not even himself quite yet, although we do get a hint of Jerry Trainor's neurotic, loud attitude here. I feel like the whole episode is revolving around this one joke.
The only thing you might want to check out is the cup holder in seat 34C. It's a little wobbly.
Well, I'll get my toolkit and have a look at that just as soon as the next movie lets out.
Great.
It's not like the jokes aren't funny in this, it's just they feel less clever than earlier ones. Like this feels like it could be copy and pasted onto any sitcom, less of what makes the characters of Drake and Josh unique. Drake and Josh go to the theater they always go to, and we see that they love watching movies, which is kind of nice. It's nice that there's a little bit of a through line for this.
I love the way the director used hot girls as a symbol for, hot girls.
People keep going up to him and asking him if he works there, and asking him questions about the theaters, which doesn't make any sense because he doesn't work there. They have nuns come in, which I did not expect this early in the series.
Excuse me, son. What time does Buckets of Blood begin?
Well, there's a show at 7:50, but instead, might I recommend Headless Honeymoon?
They're looking to see something gory and bloody, which is like kind of crazy for nuns, but definitely funny for a teenager. And it bothers me how into it these nun actors get. Like, are they real nuns? Because they seem to be really into Josh. And Josh is a teenager. The funny thing is that Helen is immediately the funniest version of Helen there is, off the bat.
You made Crazy Steve quit? You hired a guy named Crazy Steve?
Had to. Long story, not pretty.
So Yvette Nicole Brown is such a good actress that she's already season 4 Helen in her entrance.
See, a couple years back, Crazy Steve found out my niece was having her bat mitzvah, and he got upset because he wasn't invited. So while we were all in the temple, Crazy Steve showed up and slashed everybody's tires.
It's like, it's so crazy how good you have to be to do something like that. Yeah, but she hires Josh, and labor laws don't really matter immediately. I also used to work at the movie theater. I remember I had a badge with my favorite movie on it, and it was the SpongeBob movie. Don't make fun of me, please. So Josh comes home pretty quickly and frustrated at his new job and all the stuff he has to deal with, which is so funny because he's like already a 40-year-old man at, I don't know, 15 at this point. He really wants to be the assistant manager and trade in his red vest for a gold one, which is actually kind of funny because it takes like 3 seasons and a finale for that to actually happen, but I don't want to break it to him here. I feel like he's getting too into it. Let him enjoy this. He's got the new iBot phone, and already the show has dated itself.
I got paid yesterday. Money!
Drake only is interested when he talks about the prospect of making so much money, and then Of course, as kids, we're like, wow, I guess having a job is the dream job. Whoa, ironic, right? This episode also begins the long-running joke of Drake insisting that he has access to all the perks that Josh does, which is kind of crazy. I feel like I would be too scared to say no to my brother in this scenario, especially if it's like a new job and he's asking for perks. Like, what am I supposed to do about that? Drake admits that he wants a job too because he is out of cash and he can't afford his dates anymore, which is so funny that that's the reason all of this starts. Drake says that he could just work at the premiere, and if I were Josh, I'd be really angry and I'd be like, what makes you think that's gonna happen? Like, you're not entitled to a job.
Don't get your hopes up. She's really tough, and it's not like she just hands out jobs.
Hey, Helen, can I have a job? Sure, start tomorrow.
And then, of course, Drake asks Helen and immediately gets it, like as if it's no big deal. But good for Josh. He's very peppy in this season, very optimistic and excited to work with Drake, which your optimism is not going to last, Josh.
Last year you gave him a coupon book that you found in a dumpster.
It is kind of trippy watching Drake in a premiere vest, especially since for the rest of the show, this will never happen again. This episode is a perfect example of the Dan Schneider universe always rewarding bad behavior.
Clean up these straw wrappers.
Like, this whole episode is Drake talking his way out of issues and ending up rewarded for it. Like, these little girls go into an R-rated movie, it's Megan and her friends, and Drake justifies why.
PG-13 is actually PG-9.
I know, metrics.
So I didn't want to create an international incident.
Smart.
With Helen only getting him, like, promotion after promotion following this event. Josh is, like, the only one that's, like, realizing how messed up this is, and I feel like it's the beginning of Josh's, like, utter resentment toward Drake. I know we're only in the second season, but, like, what else could this possibly be? I feel like if it wasn't for Josh's dramatic, repetitive outbursts, this episode wouldn't even be interesting. And of course, Drake gets promoted up to the gold sash, something that Josh was never able to do. Helen keeps looking at Josh as if she doesn't know who he is, which, Helen, there is like less than like 3 employees at this place. You can't even remember Josh, like the one that's in the lobby. Come on, Helen. Josh ends up taking a jar of honey and, correct me if I'm wrong, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and he makes them talk to each other.
We have a gold vet for you right here.
It's just my size.
Fantasizing about getting a promotion. Of course, there's this father-son talk, which never really happens in the later seasons, but I like it when Walter's attempting to connect with his son. I feel like it's really genuine, and it connects us to him being a newscaster. I feel like it's one of the earlier times we even know he does that. Josh takes away from the conversation that he needs to do something to impress Helen, inspiring him to do a little giveaway. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but this is kind of an iconic moment. Basically, Josh puts a bunch of popcorn buckets on the counter, and one of them has a gold ball. When he tells everybody in the premiere about it, it causes a giant, chaotic mess.
Now, if everyone will please form an orderly line, I would be happy to give you all the...
You gotta admit, though, this is such an iconic moment, and it's so funny watching everybody straightforward beat up each other as this is going on. And listen to Drake watching, like, he has to be the straight man in this scenario. I can't believe that Drake is pushed to actually do something responsible, like tell Josh this is stupid. But that's all he does. He doesn't like take an active action to do anything about it. He just watches the fight go down. And as people are taken out on gurneys and the entire floor is covered in popcorn, Josh is pretty much screwed at this point. So he has to go to Helen, admit what he did, and immediately get fired. But wait, Drake comes in and actually has a big heart in this episode. He decides to save the day by taking the fall for the popcorn incident.
It says right here in the corporate handbook, anytime the paramedics are called, someone must be fired.
So Helen fires Drake, but he still somehow makes the episode genuine. And we end on Helen not even remembering Josh worked there in the first place. So does it even matter? No. And of course, we get rewarded for lying. This episode felt like kind of a waste of time. I mean, except for the fact it set up Crazy Steve, it set up the premiere, it set up Helen, and it set up Drake being the straight man for once. Is the cost worth the price? No. Of course, this is such a fun show. It's like hard to almost pick apart the things I think are negative, because it's not going to be anything like Victorious or iCarly. But that's a good thing. There's nothing overtly offensive about any of this stuff. It's not really a negative episode. It's essentially a Josh-centric funny episode, but only he's the funny part. If we're talking about the second season though, I do have to shout out Little Diva. You know, the episode where Drake and Josh have to watch after a celebrity child, but then she ends up being knocked unconscious, so Drake and Josh have to take her to the premiere and actually make her give a speech. I just feel like the Weekend at Bernie's parody doesn't really sit well with fans, like, especially me, somebody who never really watched that movie or knew about that joke. Like, the concept of somebody being passed out but still needs to go through life as if they're not is funny, but, like, it's a little too dark funny than it is, like, outward funny. And I see a lot of people online also complain about it. I know it was definitely not one of the favorites, but that's probably why it's taken off some of these streaming services. We can't not talk about my boy Citrus though. I loved that character in this episode. It sucks when shows this good have episodes this bad because they're so swept under the rug because of how good the show is that we forget about even just the small moments that might have been funny. Like, this whole episode didn't need to be thrown out just because majority of the plot wasn't interesting or kind of creepy, honestly. But hey, then I guess the entire series of Victorious wouldn't even be around now, would it? Ooh, got him. But yeah, I talk more about this episode specifically in my Banned Drake and Josh episodes video. You guys should definitely check that out. And if you're in the mood to see something that isn't that interesting, definitely check out Little Diva from season 2. Oh wait, I would be crazy if I didn't talk about the Helen recasting. Yeah, they had a different actress play Helen for one episode of this show. Immediate negative 10 points, Drake and Josh. That's so stupid. Especially with my favorite bodyguard, Roxy from Hannah Montana. Yeah, that actress is the one from Hannah Montana. She's really good at what she does, and I honestly forgot that Helen was even replaced for a single episode. But this is big enough of an issue that you definitely could have got away with having the other character still there. Like, I don't know why Drake and Josh didn't think this would be a good character in the beginning of the series. Like, Helen in Movie Job was so funny. They should have known that they would need this specific actress time and time again if they wanted to keep the show funny, and I don't know what was going over their heads. Okay, so the first 2 seasons of Drake and Josh are out of the way. I feel like it's no secret that they are some of the least strongest episodes in the series. So now we're getting to the real Drake and Josh, the parts that me and you all grew up with watching new episodes one at a time, seasons 3 and 4. With season 3 specifically, right before the show got to super peak, there were 2 episodes that really started to bore me. Not just because they were basic plot lines or didn't necessarily have anything interesting going on, but they both kind of annoy me. So let's talk about them. So the next episode we have is Girl Power. So Drake wants to break up with his girlfriend Lucy after finding out that she possibly is tougher than he is.
I'm not done with you.
I beg to differ. Now you and your little hoodlum friends get out of my movie theater before I pop you like a zit. Move it!
But he challenges her to a fight to prove that he is tougher than her. And I like this episode's premise because it's not a lot that we talk about gender norms anymore, but like the fact that Drake is falling into them and it's kind of a lesson about coming out of them, like this is what TV should be made for. Like,
You weren't even looking. Okay, Lucy is not tougher than you.
Yeah, I guess you did kind of catch me off guard.
accidents like this, like misinterpretations of gender, like that's, like overcoming that is where real stories come in, and I'm happy they have episodes like this. Meanwhile, Josh tries to impress Mindy's parents so he can continue to date her.
That flickering bulb is giving me a headache.
Huh? Well, it's probably just Lucy. I could fix her. Now, who would like some chicken?
He later organizes a dinner with all of them at his house to prove that he is a stand-up boyfriend, but it happens to fall under the same night that Drake and Lucy are planning on fighting.
Drake, you know how hard it was for me to convince Mindy's parents to come here and have dinner, all right? This is my last chance to impress them, and if I don't, they're not gonna let me date Mindy anymore.
So she's icky.
It's normal that you see an episode with a guy challenging his bully to fight, but like a boyfriend and a girlfriend fight? Like, this is so weird. Josh is concerned that the fight will ruin his chances of impressing Mindy's parents, so he makes Drake and Lucy wrestle upstairs in the bedroom, where Megan is waiting to watch the fight with her groups of friends cheering them on, which is so funny.
You can't throw us out. I charge these people $10 admission.
You charge us $20 each.
But during the dinner, Drake and Lucy wrestle their way into the living room during the dinner. Josh gets so upset about how Drake ruins his plans, he calls him out in the worst way it's ever been in the series so far. But it's understandable, like, Josh really cares for Mindy.
All right.
It's a draw!
Mindy's parents see how much Josh cares for their daughter and allow her and Josh to keep dating because of his commitment.
What were you two fighting about?
Because he didn't believe that I was tougher than him.
Well, of course you're not.
Huh?
Physically, boys are genetically superior to girls.
And then Mindy's dad asks Drake and Lucy why they were fighting, causing Mr. and Mrs. Crenshaw to fight each other and see who's tougher, which is super funny. During the end, Josh tries to pick up a piece of chicken for his dinner by using his fork, but Mindy's brother Aiden gets mad because Josh picked the piece of chicken he wanted and he leaves the dinner table, which is funny. So Lucy actually does come back in the Storm episode, but this is like one of the only times she's here.
I just made a date to fight my girlfriend.
This is definitely a good episode for Mindy. The Josh and Mindy storyline is actually kind of sweet. Like, I like following their relationship through its ebbs and flows because, let's face it, there's a lot of evs. But Drake is definitely hitting a new low in this one. I feel like seeing him be this sexist is crossing a line. I mean, it's one thing to be into girls and date them all the time, but he's always kind of had like a line drawn. It's not until the later seasons that they keep running out of ways to cross that line or make Drake seem more like a player. But in this episode, it's taken so much further, and even Josh is kind of sexist too. But I kind of like that he's sexist, because it's like, we all have a little bit of sexism in us, like, about the gender we don't really know super well, so of course you're going to make assumptions, and that's kind of what they're doing in this episode. However, I do think that Drake's is a little too far, especially given how he is in this whole show. Moral of the story, you could have wrote funnier jokes in different ways. I'm not trying to be super critical. I still like the episode. I still think there's a lot of really funny jokes in here. I am so glad we get to meet Mindy's family and see Josh act like an idiot in front of them. Like, I am at the floor with some of those jokes.
You're hurting my hand.
Sorry. My fault.
Clearly.
This is like the only appearances of Mindy's parents and her younger brother, and the Aiden scene was cut out from the episode itself, but it was shown during the end credits.
Okay, here.
I don't know. I don't want it after you put your fork in it.
Okay, well, how about this one?
I don't like the breast.
Well, who knew?
Then we have a strong premise because of the whole gender against each other, and I really like that. And having Josh have to deal with Mindy and her family at the same time definitely was a formula for chaos in a really inviting way. But at the end of the day, the jokes didn't outweigh the plot line. It just felt a little bit boring. It felt funny, but the rest wasn't as good. Then we have Sheep Thrills. So Megan bought a machine that shoots paintballs. At first convincing Drake it will shoot Josh, only for it to shoot Drake instead.
What just happened? You said you were gonna get Josh. Huh?
And then Josh to shoot back, causing them to fight. Then Drake and Josh eat pudding, talk about how Drake barely passes his algebra test.
An intruder. We better go wake up Dad.
Yeah, I don't think a burglar's gonna be afraid of a weatherman wearing footsie pajamas.
They hear a strange noise in the garage, only to find out that Megan actually adopted a sheep named Bob, which is a super funny joke.
You hit me repeatedly. What up with the sheep?
It's her secret pet that she ordered online. She talks to Drake and Josh about temporarily babysitting her pet sheep, which kind of gives me the vibes of the babysitting episode of Drake and Josh from season 1, Two Idiots and a Baby. That was a really funny one.
If you two hide him, just till I figure out a way to explain him to Mom and Dad.
Yeah. What?
I promise not to pull any pranks on you for 3 months.
For real?
You swear?
Swear.
Think about it.
We'll do it.
Bob ends up giving birth to a baby lamb on Drake's bed after being assisted by Dr. Jeff Glazer.
If you want my diagnosis, I'd say that Bob was pregnant. Was. Pregnant. Not anymore. It's $100.
When Megan's out, Drake and Josh have to hide the sheep from their parents. So when Audrey and Walter go upstairs, they both become super suspicious.
What? Oh, something in my eye!
Something in his eye!
Pinging sound whenever I'm
so black!
I'm so alarmed by the pinging sound.
I don't know how the parents aren't even more suspicious, and I always thought this part was really funny when I was a kid.
It might be coming from the alternator unless...
Whoa! Josh, what are you doing? I don't know,
Like, there's no way you can realistically convince your father you have a reason to shut the car door on his face. After all these horrible attempts to keep this a secret, surprise, surprise, Walter and Audrey finally show up. It's about time.
They're suspicious!
They try to tell him it was Megan's fault, but their parents don't believe them, of course, because Megan is viewed as the nice child.
So you want us to believe that a sweet little 11-year-old girl somehow managed to go on the internet and buy herself a pregnant sheep?
It does sound unlikely. It's true! It's true!
When Megan goes into Drake and Josh's room, she pretends she's never seen him, causing Drake and Josh to get grounded for a month, and it's just like they give up completely.
How long are we grounded?
A month.
Fair enough.
After that, Bob and the lamb end up going to the petting zoo. A month later, the night before Drake and Josh are free from their punishment, the boys discover that Megan actually bought a zebra, which they choose not to do anything with.
Sup?
And it's super funny. Like, I love that Megan put them in this position. And this, I feel like, this dynamic would have been really funny in season 1 as opposed to, like, just a random lady and her baby. Like, I like that Megan is in the plot. Megan technically broke her promise and lied about pulling pranks for the 3 months, because the sheep thing definitely counts as a prank. Bob was pregnant, diagnosed by Dr. Glazer. It's been discovered that she gave birth to a lamb on Drake's bed. Drake manages to feed some Diet Mocha Cola to the lamb. The episode was initially going to be about kangaroos, which were harmful and vicious according to the episode's cast and crew members, instead of the sheep. In many, if not all, subsequent episodes, a no kangaroo sign is visible in Drake and Josh's bedroom. Josh wears the same shirt in the beginning of the episode that he did in the second half of Foam Finger, which is interesting. And it's super unknown how Megan got the zebra. Like, that's ridiculous. This was one of the last episodes to air in 2005. Wow, they really spread across these episodes. This episode marks the last appearance of Dr. Jeff Glazer. I'm not sure if you remember him from The Bet or Little Diva, those band episode stuff we did. He's such a funny recurring character. Okay, now that we've covered season 3 with 2 of the episodes I'm thinking are not so popular, let's move on to the 4th and final season of Drake and Josh. You guys are not going to like my picks for this, just fair warning. This whole season is really good, so just buckle down. So season 4, episode 8 is The Storm. So in the talking head, Drake and Josh talk about the things in life that don't go as planned, and Josh has a story about how he had an unfortunate dentist appointment, and Drake apparently had the best time of his life, where apparently the doctor gave him $200 and to go on a date with his daughter. I don't see a world where that happened, but whatever.
Instead, I end up with a hot girl, $200, and a half dozen free burritos.
I spent 3 hours having a sneezy dentist sew up my tongue hole!
So we see Drake practicing with his band, and even though it's episode 8, we're reminded that he isn't just plain stupid. Like, he's actually hard on his band, and I like seeing Drake like this. He's more assertive, he's a little bossy. It's funny that he actually does get some character traits from Josh.
A minor, not an A7. And you? Dude, you're wearing a woman's shirt.
It's called a blouse.
I don't know who all these people in his band are. Like, maybe it happened off screen, but still, like, no one is recognizable. I missed the season 1 band. Apparently a Mid-City Records producer is going to be at the show they're about to perform, and it's super important. I know the finale talks about his music career, but like, it's just so intermittent between the episodes when he's striving for his passion and just plain stupid. I feel like the last time we saw this was in the Go Hollywood movie. I guess it just took 8 episodes to even get there here. Apparently he rented a bus for Drake, which is very sweet. Like, he didn't have to do that. I feel like Drake's gonna do something worse to make him resentful of him anyway. Walter talks about Bruce Windshield again, tries to get better hair just to show off.
If it's a 5-day forecast, shouldn't it really be called a 5-cast? Get it?
Oh, Dad.
And this one guy in the band's sister takes his shirt back, so he has to be completely shirtless. And there's a tattoo of a foot on his chest. Why? Why is this necessary? Is this an insinuation for something? I don't even know. So everybody's at the house celebrating Drake's gig. Helen insults their drink and pours it into the plant.
Josh's world-famous limeade.
This limeade tastes like mucus.
Is like, you're a guest in the house. The drummer keeps taking different girls' shirts, like he has Megan's shirt on now. Like, why can't he just borrow from the dad or Drake or Josh?
I wanted one with a panda on it.
Just burn it when you're done.
And it's like literally a bunch of the characters just being weird. We even have Crazy Steve needing to learn temper control throughout this episode. And Gavin and Walter kind of fight over Audrey, with Gavin trying to make a move on her, not worried that she's married, which is, okay.
Your mom's hot. Dude! How tall is she? Like 5'2", 5'10"?
I'll measure her later and let you know.
Don't forget.
Drake is very rude to Craig and Eric again and doesn't even know their names here. They talk to Drake about having a girlfriend, which I didn't realize was a continuous plot considering that popcorn girl from the last episode. Drake recruits Megan to help keep his exes apart. Jesus, Josh invited the worst people to bring to this party. Like, why are we congratulating him? Drake is at the forefront of this episode, which is kind of funny because he has to be the straight man in order for this to have a lot of plot.
Problem?
I told you to keep them apart.
I know.
Then what happened?
I got them all together.
Pacing is so quick with so many things happening, it feels like it just kind of flies by.
Would either of you guys like the last stuffed mushroom?
Sure, I'd love to.
Craig and Eric are flattered by Audrey too, which is like, why is everybody into Drake and Josh's mom? Like, there's so many appropriately aged girls at this party. Like, why are they only hitting on the woman that's an adult? Walter's in trouble for not getting the weather right and is told that he has to go out and report it. Where is Josh? I feel like it's being juggled between Drake and his mom more than anybody in this episode. I learned later that Josh just wasn't here for most of the filming, but I don't know, it's a nice change of pace. So Walter is told he has to go out in the weather and report. The weather gets worse and everybody tries to keep their heads up that they're still going to be able to perform. They announce pretty quickly that the entire concert's underwater and they can't really do it.
I got wet.
And then the electricity goes out, so they almost have like a new problem.
My uncle's got a boat.
Yeah, well, that's great, Gary. Why don't you climb into your uncle's boat and sail off to Moron Island?
They get a TV to work, but it only can work by being cranked, and they forced Craig to do it, so that's not really cool.
Come on, Dora, it's right over there! Obre los ojos! Come on!
Walter reports in the rain on the TV, which actually does look pretty dangerous, and Gavin keeps hitting on Audrey. This is probably Crazy Steve's longest episode thus far. Like, I like seeing him a lot in this, and his anger issues are completely unhinged.
Do you mind if I go back to my program?
Sure.
Can I rest for 10
Dora!
And Miranda and Jerry Traynor here. Seeing them in the same, like, scene is, like, very nostalgic. It feels like iCarly already. So Drake sees the girls giggling and gets insecure, tries to spy on them, and it's really funny because Gavin and the drummer also spy, which makes it obvious, and the girls find him there. How do you cover this up?
Shh. I'm trying to hear what my girlfriend's talking about with my ex-girlfriends.
I called my uncle. He sold the boat. Hi, I'm Gary. Gavin. Okay.
Oh, would you guys get out of here?
So on the TV, Walter gets mugged during his weather report. So Megan tries to cause trouble by suggesting to her mom that they fix the gutters on the roof. And I don't know why his mom would enforce this right now, especially with the dangerous weather, but she does make him do it anyway. And he says, I don't do things like that, which is very true. His character really doesn't. But like the whole company's over. Like, why would Drake go to the roof and do this? He ends up making Eric do it, which is even worse.
But it's pouring rain. What if I slip and fall off the roof?
All right, there's a rope in the garage. Tie yourself to the chimney, you'll be fine.
Drake is just such a disrespectful person. So Drake finally figures out what the girls are talking about. Apparently they were saying who the best kisser was, and it was him, but they want him to tell them who the best kisser is between them. I don't know why it wouldn't be obvious for him to just say the current girl. Like, obviously he doesn't want to go through a breakup, so just say the girl you're with now.
It broke! The crank broke!
In the end, Helen gets everybody to sing We Will Rock You. This character is such a mystery. Like, from her past on a sitcom to singing, like, I don't know what Helen is up to. I sung this song when I was in 5th grade. I wish they sung, like, a better song, though. And then the nerds even have a solo in this, which is funny. I guess the moral of the episode is that you could have a fun time with other people when your concert gets canceled. I don't really follow. So this is one of my least favorite of those bottle episodes where Drake and Josh get stuck in one place. There's just something about it. I mean, maybe the fact that Josh is absent, but I didn't really notice it. They did a good job at that. I think the character comedy is the strongest in this, like jumping from different person to different person. We got a really good taste of the nerds, Gavin, Crazy Steve. Like, it hit a lot of really good nerves. But the fact that it ends on kind of like a bittersweet note with nothing being resolved, and the episode originally wasn't really about making the best of a bad situation, I don't know. It feels like it was just like an insert, a stall episode. I'm not saying it was bad. I feel like every episode in Drake and Josh season 4 is phenomenal, but it was definitely one of the least phenomenal ones, I would say. And finally, we have Dance Contest, which of course is not the actual final episode, but you know what? It was aired last, so it technically is. In the opening, Drake and Josh come up with a challenge to drink as many cups of coffee as possible, and I'm really worried they're gonna die through this. Like, there's so much caffeine in these things.
He said that. Oh, yeah, that's what he said. He said it.
That makes 26.
26 down. Come on.
Josh pretty much goes crazy in it, and Drake only drinks decaf, which is not fair, Drake. They throw Eric a going-away party, taking place at Drake and Josh's house, which is super boring. And Drake just wants to get out of it, which, that's not cool, Drake. He's so disrespectful to these guys.
If you're gonna leave, then leave.
You promised you wouldn't do this.
What's up, Craig?
I'm not in the mood to talk.
To please everybody, Josh ends up showing off his super intense dance move, and it makes the party liven up. And everybody convinces him that he should be going on the Dancing with the Stars parody. This would not only show off his skills, but finally beat Mindy into being number 1.
Well, I thought you brought her.
Nope.
Excuse me, but who are you?
Were you invited to this party?
Meanwhile, Drake is being told that he's doing poorly in school, almost getting kicked out of gym class for no attendance. It's really funny that this is what stops him from graduating, but it's still irresponsible as heck.
What to do? Why didn't you tell me that earlier?
You never come to class!
Okay. What if I come to class every day for the rest of the semester?
Too late. You still wouldn't have enough credits to pass.
Josh tells him to start focusing on his homework, but he cannot get himself to commit to anything. When he realizes the seriousness of it, he decides to enter a dance contest because apparently that would allow him to receive extra credit. I don't know how the two connect, but okay. At the premiere, Josh talks to this girl named Emily, who is going to be his dance partner. She's actually professional and has been the best dancer in San Diego.
I don't know, I've just always loved to dance.
It's cool.
Josh, we gotta talk. I'm gonna fail gym.
I'm kind of with a person here.
Oh, sorry. Hi, I'm Drake, Josh's brother. Nice to meet you. Can I have a sip of this? Ah, thanks.
Drake talks to Emily himself, and Josh is forced by his boss to take care of gangsters in a movie theater on Josh's day off. That is like the 3rd time Josh is like forced to work.
Sorry, I'm not working today. It's my day off.
5, 4, 3.
You know, you can't make me work on my day off.
2, 1.
Quiet down, hoodlums!
So later, it turns out that Drake steals Josh's partner to enter the dance competition himself, which is super rude. That's like one of the worst things I feel like Drake could do to Josh. Like, it's not his responsibility, you're failing.
I thought we were dance partners.
Well, after you and I talked, Drake asked me to be his dance partner.
Why would you say yes to Drake when you already said yes to me?
Because Drake gave me a digital camera.
That's my digital camera.
So Josh has to get a new partner, Vilga.
Yes, these are the bad people I told you about. Drake, Emily, I'd like you to meet my new and improved dance partner, Vilga.
When they're actually at the competition, Emily and Vilga fight again and are completely disqualified from the competition.
You just pushed me? It was not the wind. Oh,
all right.
The only way Drake and Josh could actually do it is if they did it together. So they put on this amazing show in front of an audience and entertains everybody. They end up winning, and Audrey and Megan are super shocked that they're actually that good at it, and so am I.
I knew you'd win! You guys are so awesome!
And at the end, we see Drake's gym teacher asking Audrey about how Walter was lost at sea.
I'm not a rich man, but I do live in a very nice trailer. Nothing fancy, but I got a good TV, a coffee maker, toilet.
And tries to woo her, so one last hitting on Audrey, I guess, for the series. Overall, weird finale, definitely doesn't work as one. But it's an episode that Audrey's in instead of Walter, which is not usual.
Dance contest just really didn't interest me. Like, it felt like it was just trying to parody the Blues Brothers episode. If the dance number wasn't so long, I probably would think it was better, but I just feel like so little happens in this episode when it does. Like, I like the conflict between Drake and Josh against each other. It's been a while since we had, like, a bet-type episode, but this feels like one of them. And the comedy in this was really funny, but it felt like it teetered off to be a little too random for me. And if it wasn't positioned as the final episode in the series, I probably wouldn't be so biased, but it really bothers me that that's true.
Overall, we had a lot of crazy experiences with Drake and Josh, and we're still having them, like, 20 years later. There was a lot of questionable things going on throughout this show. We don't even have to talk about behind the scenes. But in the content they presented us, they really thought they could get away with some hidden things. I also can't forget in season 1 when Drake was going to the bathroom and Walter was trying to talk to him. You guys could look up that scene on your own, as if it's a really big deal. But yeah, these were the episodes I really wasn't that fond of, I would dare say offended by, because they either wasted my time, I thought they were too mundane, or just overall wasn't the best form that Drake and Josh could take on. Like, this is a legendary show that Nickelodeon was absolutely peaking because of. So in a way, we owe it to some of these episodes to thank it for its legacy, because every legacy has to have some negative things happen. But yeah, I'm curious what you guys think about what I said. I know a lot of people are not going to like some of my choices, but remember guys, it's my opinion, I'm allowed to feel. No, but seriously, I'm allowed to feel. There's just something about these episodes that rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm allowed to feel that way.
Oh, I'm sorry I got caught, and I'm definitely gonna do it some more. Stomach aches! Give me stomach aches!
Yeah, I know you like Drake and Josh. Clicking on this video says more about you than it does me, okay? But who can blame you? Some of these episodes are like the funniest on TV in general, not even considering just teen TV. It's right before the cynicism and deterioration of iCarly and Victorious, and right after the absurd kid-like nature of like All That and a bunch of other shows. Nickelodeon truly had the greatest gem of all time with this one, and you know what? You can't strike fire twice. Is that the phrase? I don't know. Since we've covered these episodes top to bottom through seasons, rankings, and so much more, by the way, check out all of them on my channel, I definitely wanted to highlight the best episodes, the episodes I think are slept on, like they really need more attention, because I honestly forgot them because there's so many better episodes that come later, but these are still pretty good hidden gems. So why don't we go through each season and choose 1 to 2 episodes that have not been appreciated in quite some time, maybe because they like went to the back of our memory banks or just were covered by like the treehouse episode, which by the way, that's not the best episode of TV ever. Chill. What's up, everybody? It's Johnny 2000, focusing on 2000s movies, TV, media, and so much more. Thank you guys for flying into my channel. I hope you put your luggage off to the side and enjoy a cheap, overpriced burger because you are in the airport of Johnny 2000. Oh my god, I'm gonna cut that later, please. Let's jump into season 1, shall we? The 6 episodes that were essentially lost to time, so these will be an easy one. The one we have first is called Believe Me, Brother.
So well, I am a huge fan of the dryer sheet.
Josh is convinced that Susan, who's Drake's new girlfriend, is actually flirting with Josh behind Drake's back. So Drake laughs at first, but then becomes angry when he catches Susan kissing Josh and believes that Josh is actually trying to steal Susan from him.
Susan?
You! Josh! What are you trying to do?
Yeah, if I had a nickel for every time this happened to me.
Josh tries to explain his innocence to Drake, but Drake ignores him and the two become increasingly distant.
Hello?
This is so funny because, of course, Drake doesn't expect that Josh would ever be capable of pulling in a girl like that, which is pretty disrespectful in its own right. And this is so early in the series where Drake was actually kind of like a straight character, you know, like he wasn't being the crazy goofy one. He wasn't asking what America is pronounced like. Like, he had a lot of potential back in these days. Just think about that.
And then eventually they do the music video project, which allows them to look back at the footage and see all these videos that Megan have taken of both Drake and Josh, which is...
Have you been a good boy this year? No? Well, then under you go!
probably borderline illegal. Drake eventually learns the truth and Megan inserts a video of Susan flirting with Josh. These videos ends up showing Drake that Susan was the one who did it and he dumps her. So then Drake and Josh actually thank Megan for her prank and even get back at Susan by putting purple paint in her locker, which is like that famous thing in the opening where they're both walking away from the locker and have the reaction. Classic. And this seemingly really brings the two closer together despite actually putting their flaws against each other, and I love that we actually start to see them grow close.
The comedy and story work together so well in this episode because, you know, we have Josh being framed for attracting this woman when really he's not doing anything. Like, she just keeps cornering him in the room. It's like, honestly, borderline harassment. I feel a little guilty about laughing at it all the time. And Drake just keeps getting caught up in the middle of it. Obviously, Josh just moved into his house at this point. Like, this is early season 1, so anything Josh does is going to get on his nerve. The fact he thinks he's actually capable of pulling in this girl, and I don't even know what's going through Drake's head. I just wouldn't believe it. Oh my gosh, and all the bandmates from season 1 are in this. This one is truly forgotten because it used to be probably one of my favorite episodes, and just so much came after it to actually compete with it. I fully forgot. And there's a lot of episodes like this. That's why I'm like excited to do this video, because these episodes definitely deserve to be looked at and laughed at. It almost feels like a completely different show that's not getting enough praise for it. You know, like if the original Drake and Josh 2 seasons were released separately, I don't know how I would feel about them. But yeah, just the fact that the whole story is actually coinciding with it in a way that the later seasons of Drake and Josh never really did gives me a lot more of an appreciation. Like, I feel like they look at the viewer like they're really smart. Like, these episodes are actually trying to impress them as opposed to what iCarly and Victorious eventually became. Yeah, this is the clever era, I would say, that I really miss. So of course we have to get to one more episode from the first season to actually give this some praise.
Okay, the next episode is called First Crush, which I guess they didn't cover enough relationships up until this point. So Josh gets his first crush on Kathy, who's Erin Chambers, but can't stop saying ridiculous things, such as...
Spoons? Spoons? Oh, yeah. Do you like spoons?
I think they're very helpful.
So while he's trying to impress her, he accidentally says that he can play the guitar, which he definitely can't. And Kathy wants Josh to play her a song at her birthday party. It's this coffee shop, not only run by Josh's former karate teacher from the pilot, but the same one that Drake got banned from because of a prank involving Megan's pet snake. It's kind of funny to think for even a second that the owner of this cafe assumes Drake brought a snake just to be freaked out and run and scare everyone. I don't know how there's no benefit of the doubt on this.
I can remember this episode so vividly just because I was curious about the connection between the pilot and this one. And it's cool that Drake actually has a gig in this. Like, that's something Victorious can't really say super often, can they? For going to a performing arts school. At least Drake and Josh are just in a normal world, but hey, I'm not going to get into that. This is just such a funny concept to me that really holds up to this day, but I can't help but wonder if this is a situation a lot of people would go through. You know, like having a snake get released in the middle of your set and having to deal with that. Yeah, I'm a little confused at how that is supposed to work, but it's sweet that Josh has a crush. I feel like later Josh is never going to get a crush because he's too neurotic to survive at that point. Like, Drake is all he can handle in his life.
It turns out this girl has her birthday party at the exact same cafe that Drake is banned from.
What song are you gonna play?
Why don't we all be surprised?
So he ends up having to hide in order to help Josh, and then somehow does a really good job that impresses her.
Thank you one and all. Peace out.
But then inevitably they come outside because it's a terrible plan and they get caught.
They're conjoined!
But it's nice to see Josh kind of have more of a character moment and show that he's very flawed and actually wants things in his life, but it just seems to not work out for him. Then we're exposed to a really uncomfortable, slimy dance as a snake goes up Josh's pants.
The fact that it was hard for me to even figure out between 6 episodes which ones were like my favorite. Like, honestly, Dune Buggy needs a shout out because that's one of the funniest episodes ever just because of how injured Drake is.
I won't be able to watch the moves if you do them on me.
Oh, yeah. Drake, come here.
I'd rather not.
But hey, we're not getting into that because these episodes are just slightly better than that. So yeah, overall, season 1 is so weird to talk about because it was literally only 6 episodes and a lot of the characters feel a little out of place, but hey, it's kind of a miracle that it's so cleverly written and still holds up. But hey, we wouldn't appreciate that so much if we didn't have so much better episodes after it, so we're gonna have to keep going, aren't we? So yeah, second season is a lot better because we have so many more episodes to work with 2 in particular being my personal favorites. Next is Pool Shark.
Him. No. You said we could pick your partner.
So Drake discovers that Josh is actually really talented at pool. So he takes advantage of this and uses him to hustle people behind Josh's back. He learns the strategy from Megan, of course, when she pretends to be bad at darts and steals $20 from him.
Cash, please.
No way. You just hustled me.
No, I didn't. I just pretended to be bad so that you'd bet me, and then I stopped being bad and I took your money.
That's hustling.
There's a word for it? Cool.
Craig and Eric make their first appearance in this, and Drake tells them a really sad story on why they need to win.
You see, the thing is, Eric's mom, she's not well. What's wrong with her? It's her tongue.
So that way, when they lose to Craig and Eric, other people think that they're easy to win against. It's so funny he made up this story about how his mom's like losing his tongue, which is like, why would that be so tragic? They make such an effective first appearance here. I'm so excited to see them again because they become such a staple of Drake and Josh.
I've never won anything before in my life!
And Josh becomes way too good at this, where everybody at the premiere starts to resent them. With Josh working there, you'd think they'd say something to his face. Josh eventually finds out and vows to never play pool again, feeling that he's like dirty because of this. And it's really funny watching him deny his affiliation with it. And it's clear Drake does not care about Josh's feelings because he immediately asks him to do it again. He begs him to do it.
Will you play pool with me? Oh my. It's beautiful. This is so unexpected.
And Drake is even like, no, I'm gonna keep hustling more people. Why would I not do that? Josh rejects him once again, and that's the end of that. Meanwhile, Walter's trying to find the perfect gift for Audrey for her birthday. It turns out Audrey buys the exact same bracelet that Walter was intending on gifting to Audrey, and so he asks Drake and Josh to go and buy a new present for her.
Go out and get something else, will ya? Here, something good.
Like what?
Oh, I don't know. Get her some toothpaste. She's always using toothpaste.
Dad, there's $200 here.
Well, get her some mouthwash, too. I'm just a man.
So on the way to getting the birthday gift, they pass a pool hall in which Drake asks one more time and Josh gives in. They show up to this really scary, dingy bar, which I don't know how they're allowed in. And Josh is like ready to hustle them with no awareness of how obvious he's being about it.
Damn, first time playing the pools. Not too good, and it's hard to shoot with all this money in my pocket. Josh, seriously, don't overdo it. You boys looking for a game? No, sir. Yeah, we are.
He starts getting into it more than Drake, almost trying to pick fights with Bard patrons just to get back to hustling again. He challenges them to a game of pool, and they get more and more intimidating, leaving Drake scared as heck. And he doesn't even want to win at this point, he just wants to survive. Just to raise the stakes so much higher, they bet the parents money. Once they win, the guys found out that they hustled them, and they corner Drake and Josh into the wall, only to reveal that Josh actually knows these guys, and this was just to teach Drake a lesson about hustling people. I don't know how Josh became buddy-buddy with all these 30-year-old men. I don't know where this could have happened, but it turns out the guy is actually wearing the perfect necklace for Audrey. He gives it to them, and everything is resolved. The end. This one's really fun because it puts Josh and Drake's dynamic in a really serious situation, unlike the normal episodes where it's just about social issues. All the stuff they're doing is actually leading to a big threat. And I remember watching this as a kid and being like, oh no. Especially since as a kid you think of ways you could shortcut life, and at least this episode is telling you that there's always consequences for your actions when you take advantage of people. That's a really good lesson. Oh, this used to be my favorite episode at the time, but like I said, hey, many better episodes came along. But hey, you gotta appreciate a Josh episode that has him turning the tables on Drake. And at this point, Drake was trying so hard to just be the cool character that it's even funnier to watch it turn around on him. Even though he has a lot of irresponsible personality quirks in this episode. It goes far in just the right way. And like I said, these episodes are so hard to pick out because the second season had so many good ones. But hey, this one, definitely a good one. We're going to move on to one more that I think is really great, involving something that was done on iCarly, doppelgangers. Season 2, episode 13 is called Drew and Jerry. So Drake is watching Celebrities Underwater, some weird TV show in this Dan Schneider universe, and Josh just got the 2 tickets to see a magic show. Drake doesn't really want to spend time with him, so Josh says he's gonna find somebody else to go with him. Drake gives Josh a speech about why they shouldn't be spending so much time together, and oh my gosh, I would be heartbroken. So he says he's gonna go find somebody else. Look at Drake pushing a boundary. So Drake comes downstairs to see Josh already has a new friend, Drew. Drew is an exact replica of Drake.
Only 3. Yeah, I had an off night.
Not only repeating the antics him and Josh share, but also apparently he's a musician. The next morning, Drake wakes up Josh with a dog on his bed. I think this is his attempt to apologize without actually apologizing.
Whose dog is this? I don't know, I just found him rooting through the garbage outside. So you let him lick my face?
And says that they're gonna go to the cheerleader practice. But Josh says he already has plans. Ooh, tough break. Now Drake's experiencing exactly what Josh went through. Him and Drew are going to a virtual reality ski trip, and Josh looks so funny in the ski outfit. Drake is so bored that he even sits next to Megan and asks to take her to the movies. The two don't know what to talk about, and they just sit there aimlessly. It's so funny watching Drake try to strike up a conversation with Megan, especially knowing he knows so little about her. He doesn't even know her age.
He always gets a root beer, and I get a Dr. Fizz, and then we mix them half and half.
Whoa. You two have some crazy times.
Yeah.
Megan admits that he's only spending time with him because of Josh, and he's jealous. Drake listens to this and actually considers it, but instead of going to apologize, he says he's gonna bring over a new friend. Oh my gosh, of course. So Drew's there with the family for family dinner, and he's replacing Drake at every chance he gets. Until Jerry comes in, an exact replica of Josh. He joins family dinner.
I'd like you to meet my new friend, Jerry. What's up, fellas? Lady fellas.
And one by one, Drake and Josh try to one-up each other through their new friends. These poor guys, they're just being used as pawns in Drake and Josh's little game. Whoever this actor playing Josh is doing way too good a job. Like, they only had a couple episodes out at this point. I don't know how he replicated him so well.
It's called a game pod. It's podular. Podular!
I repeat things for emphasis. Emphasis!
Megan informs Josh that Drake's doing this all because he's jealous, giving him a little bit more insight into the situation, but it only makes him a little bit more sad about it. Josh even finds Jerry in his bed in his pajamas.
What, you wear my underwear too?
No, I don't wear underwear when I sleep.
Okay. 3 words. Keep the pajamas!
This is one of my favorite jokes. So Drake keeps kicking it up a notch, trying to make Josh more and more jealous, just to compete with his own jealousy. The two get in a fight at the premiere, using both of these guys to prove to one another that they should be more jealous.
It's a boat. A big boat. With a motor.
They make a whole talent show at the premiere, essentially, and realize what they're doing to each other. Drake and Josh finally make up, and it's really sweet. They don't know what to do about Drew and Jerry because all they were to them were just pawns. But it doesn't matter because apparently they were just discovered by TV show producers that want to make a show out of their lives.
He thinks would be perfect for a TV show.
A comedy about 2 brothers.
We're gonna be on television. Television!
In the final scene, Drake and Josh watch the new Drew and Jerry show, and it's really, really meta, with them both ending at the scary thought of being on a TV show. This episode is at the tail end of the season, which I thought we needed. We needed like a little early episode and a late episode to kind of get the dynamics of how the season went, and I feel like Drew and Jerry is like one of the last episodes before Drake and Josh makes this full transition to be like one of the most comedic shows of all time. So of course it's going to be slept on. But I do remember going to school and talking to my friends about the whole Drew and Jerry concept. Like, how in the world do you have a situation where 2 people are so similar that it just turns out they lead the exact same life as you? And the fact that they had a meta joke in this was also really funny. A lot of respect to the Drake and Josh universe for this episode. And I feel like the family involvement is something really sweet that is something special to the first couple seasons, like Walter and Audrey and all them having dinner together. We don't get that as much. Like, that is that's too normal of a family dynamic for Drake and Josh to even touch. Okay, I know I said 2 episodes, but this has to be the exception because this is one of the funniest episodes of all time. Probably my favorite from the entire Drake and Josh series. I actually put it as my, I'm not going to tell you, in my Drake and Josh ranking video, which you could check out on my other channel, Johnny 2000 Secrets, where we actually go behind the scenes on a lot more of these projects, not just normal retrospectives, so please check that out. But this is just such a good episode. Me and my friends used to talk about this all the time going to school.
Hey, that's Mrs. Haver's car. What's it doing in the classroom? Okay, somebody has pulled the greatest prank ever. But how did they do it?
So in this episode, Drake is wrongfully accused of pulling a prank on Miss Hafer. Her car is parked inside the classroom. What? How in the world did this even end up happening?
Kind of parked in our spots.
Then sit in the car.
Shotgun.
Even though it's like unexplainable, she suspends him for it.
Suspended.
Come on, you had
to the nurse.
So later at the house, Josh figures out that Drake has a right to stand in front of a trial of the school in order to prove his innocence.
We go to trial in 2 days. That's awesome. And I'm gonna defend you.
Oh, that's not awesome.
So Josh is like, okay, let me be your lawyer and I will help you defend yourself.
Once I prove Drake's innocence, he could take all 3 of you to the prom.
So they go to the whole council, and Mrs. Hafer is represented by Josh's arch enemy, Mindy Crenshaw. So Mindy, this is her first appearance, and this is somebody that likes to one-up Josh at every occasion, and she even likes to remind him that in this episode.
2, 3, 4, I declare thumb war.
1, 2, 3, you lose.
Let go my thumb!
Like, they're so familiar with each other, and dynamic works so well that it feels as if they've been in this show this whole time. Like, I'm surprised this is Mindy's first episode. This is episode, I think, 29 of the overall first series, which means there's only like half a series left for her to even make an impact. Mindy interrogates Drake until he looks guilty through all of her evidence, and this is the funniest part. Like all of the drawings Drake did, he is like such a hard time defending them. Like, of course
course he can't do that.
And who is this jumping out of the airplane?
Mrs. Hafer.
And where's her parachute?
Didn't draw one.
Didn't draw one.
But there's a lake below, so clearly she would land safely in the water.
Really? Drake, what are these things in the water?
Later on, all seems lost, and they even interview Drake asking him what he's gonna do after he loses. And it's like, guys, come on, you're the students. Like, why would you not be against the teacher? Megan tells them, Megan ends up finding a little bit of dirt on Mindy. I don't know how she got this information, but she gives it to Drake and Josh, and Josh knows exactly what to do with it. So now, Josh's turn to interrogate Mindy. He asks her about the B she got from Mrs. Hafer's class, the only B she's ever got. As Josh kind of like nudges her on.
Because we happen to have a copy of your transcript and your grades. That's what transcript means.
She admits that she is the one who put the car in the classroom, and I kind of want to know how it happened. Mindy's suspended, and Drake is cleared of all charges. Miss Hafer uneasily has to apologize to Drake for accusing him of putting her car in the classroom. Drake accepts and appreciates the apology, even though she tells him she still hates him, which, come on, guys, you can't just be friends. I love this episode because of not only the humor, but all the characters that get to shine in it. The little bit where Megan's website is shown in this, especially since we all know iCarly came out later. Like, it's a nice little foreshadow.
He's allergic to cats.
But yeah, overall, this is like the best episode to end the entire season. It's the best episode of the show. I'm just super happy with this. Oof. And with all that, we come to a conclusion of all the episodes of season 2 of Drake and Josh. Whew. Gosh, so if it wasn't hard enough to figure out the best episodes of seasons 1 and 2, I'm telling you, it's only gonna get harder from here, because the show just gets funnier and funnier. So let's hit season 3. Season 3 has about 18 episodes, or 19, I guess if you're counting the clip show. And there's so many memorable moments in this, it's almost like harder to pick them out. I feel like I'm not doing them a lot of justice by even taking 2 out of the fray. But I did want to highlight ones that I feel like haven't been mentioned in quite some time. These used to be talked about all the time back when I was in school, but now, like I said, buried by the 4th season. So let's get into the season 3 episodes I have lined up for us. In episode 3, we have We're Married. So Josh is thrilled when his e-pal from Udonia, Yuka, comes to visit.
Whoa, really? Yeah, I gotta get a haircut. Yuka's coming.
While Drake is more interested in snacks and pranks, as Josh prepares for her arrival, he vacuums Drake's food before Yuka shows up.
You're done.
Though Josh is excited to bond with her, Yuka ends up spending more time with Drake, making him jealous.
It's a glaucoma.
No, this is a goat.
Especially since he rents out an entire theater to play one of her home country's most famous movies, and she just wants to go with Drake to another one. Like, I would feel disrespected in that scenario.
Talking Helen into letting me screen it for you, so now that I've done all that, somebody's gonna be watching Ick! Glaucoma tonight! Or else somebody's gonna be an organ donor before their 17th birthday, Josh! Nickel!
Hoping to make her feel at home, Josh arranges a friendship ceremony, but due to a misunderstanding, it turns out to be a wedding ceremony that accidentally marries Drake and Yuka. Kind of like the Full House episode where DJ Tanner walks around the table and is suddenly married to somebody. I feel like that's where it's stemming from.
I'm gonna shoot back up. How dare you marry my e-woman? Hey, don't get mad at me. You told me this was a friendship ceremony. I thought it was. Well, we're really good friends now.
While Drake enjoys being married at first, he grows tired of the commitment. Things get messy when Yuka's parents arrive in San Diego to meet her new son-in-law and reveal they're billionaires. Drake then hesitates to end the marriage because he could be rich.
Then what is this meat? It's goat.
But a scheme involving goat meat, meatballs, which is offensive in Udonia, pushes Yuka's parents to call off the marriage themselves. The episode ends with Yuka returning home and getting engaged with somebody else, leaving Drake devastated, which is super funny. I've always thought this episode was really good because of the cultural misinterpretations is just such a funny concept, and having Drake be the one who accidentally marries her and Josh having been the one who set it up. Like, that is classic Drake and Josh sibling chaos. The supposedly made-up word for Yuka's mother, Busha, caused a little controversy because it actually means BS in another language. The writers claim they had no idea and they just made it up, which I don't know if it's real. It's possible that Eudonia could be near Russia because some of the accents of Yuka and her parents sounded a little Russian, and the actress Anastasia Baranova was born in Russia. Ironically, neither of the things Drake mentions are American, like sushi is from Japan and Mexican food is from Mexico, although the dishes normally served in Mexican and sushi restaurants tend to be a little different from their actual counterparts in the country of origin. But in a way, Drake and Josh would have been showing Yuka something American, but they technically weren't. This is the first episode that the term skunk bag is used, which could be a substitute term for skank, as Yuka uses it to berate another woman, which is really not nice. And I can't believe this aired on a kid's show. This is the only episode where Walter appears in the opening segment with Drake and Josh, although Audrey could be heard in that Dune Buggy episode in the opening segment in season 1. This is actually Crazy Steve's first and only season 3 appearance, which is crazy. I thought he was a lot more active in this show. Although Josh said that meatballs were made of goat meat, it's entirely possible he was lying to Yuka since she had explained that goats are considered sacred in her home country. It's very likely he just made it up to make Yuka and her family mad and end Drake's marriage. The movie Glokma can also be seen in the iCarly episode IQ, when Carly was on a date with Kyle. And this episode was actually included on Teen Nick Picks Volume 1. But yeah, the whole getting married thing was really hard to resist. I remember thinking this was such an outlandish concept when it came out, and I do feel like every now and then when you're talking about Drake and Josh, this one will come up, but it really hasn't been coming up in quite some time. At least it's like the least offensive language barrier related episode of the Dan Schneider universe that we're even giving credit. Like, I mean, the bar's not super high, but this is before they went too overboard. But hey, speaking of going overboard, another episode did dare to do that in season 3 with impersonating a doctor. Yeah, do you guys know what episode I'm talking about right off the bat? Yeah, I know you do. Next we have paging Dr. Drake. So Josh injures his foot after Drake accidentally launches a potato at him using a homemade potato launcher, which is ridiculous.
Hold it! Hold it!
While the injury gets worse, Josh refuses to go to the hospital out of fear. The family eventually forces him to get checked out, where he's relieved to learn that he won't lose his foot, but he will need surgery.
See ya!
And Josh's fear of the hospital is so real, it's crazy that we don't really touch upon it later in the show, but it definitely is really helpful for this episode.
Code Red! Code Red!
What's wrong with him?
I don't know! I'm out of here.
At the hospital, Drake becomes smitten with many of the attractive nurses, which are super old for him. You cannot be doing that, Drake. You are in high school. But he pretends to be a doctor to impress them, and even scores a few dates.
You can't do that. Sure I can. Look, Michelle's Thursday, Kristen's Friday, Letitia's Saturday.
Which is not okay. Josh warns him that impersonating a doctor is a crime, and Drake agrees to drop the act. But before he could...
I thought I'd stop by to say, I don't think we've met before.
Right. You see, I'm just filling in.
Just filling in? Just filling in?
Josh's doctor mistakes him for the real Dr. Elliot Nussbaum, a young medical prodigy due to arrive later that day, which is a great justification for them believing Drake could be in this position at his age.
Really, I can't.
Why not?
I don't know how.
Drake tries to back out, but Dr. Carlson insists to perform a live demonstration in front of the entire hospital staff. So, like, there's no way out. So Drake has to stall for as long as possible.
Well, shall we, scrub up?
Oh, I'm cool. I took a shower last night.
My God, man, you are a joke machine!
Until Josh bursts in, dressed in scrubs himself, pretending to be Dr. Vichy Swaz, a fellow doctor. Oh my gosh.
Okay, Doctor
Nussbaum is ready for to do the surgery on the foot person.
The two stage an argument and use the distraction to flee back to Josh's room. Moments later, the real Dr. Nussbaum appears, and Dr. Carlson calls out Drake for impersonation. The two officers enter the room to get rid of Drake, but he leaps out the window to escape, breaking his arm in the process. These episodes never end well for Drake and Josh. Meanwhile, Megan seeks revenge for being frozen out of temperature control, since the thermostat is in Drake and Josh's room. She relocates it to her room and sets it low so that Drake and Josh wake up to snow indoors as the end credits roll, which is kind of insane.
Looks like we foiled her little plan.
Yeah, so she made the room a little cold, like we care.
Hey, wanna watch some TV? Sure.
Drake tries to help an injured Josh back to the hospital. When Drake explains what went wrong with the potato launcher, Josh just throws it out the window. The episode of Drake and Josh feels very similar to Forever Plaid, where London and Maddie impersonate the two nuns, but it's definitely a common sitcom trope where the kids pretend to be something they're not and get thrown into the midst of what they pretended to be. Like, it's definitely common. As clearly mentioned in the episode, it is actually illegal to impersonate a doctor. It's unknown why Dr. Nussbaum and the hospital didn't press charges against Drake, although it is possible they decided it wouldn't be worth the time and money to do so, and it's more of a misunderstanding than anything else. But I don't think the writers were used to writing their ways out of stuff like this.
You mean he's an imposter?
It would appear so.
The real name for impersonating someone is called identity theft. The end of the episode is similar to the end of Megan's First Kiss, when Drake breaks his right arm and Josh has a broken left foot with crutches, which is so funny. Josh names himself Dr. Vichyssoise, and as Josh points out, it's actually a type of soup. It means potato soup in French, and it's translated by Mr. Weezer as heard on the episode of Jimmy Neutron called Mighty Weezers in my recent Season 2 retrospective, which is so funny. The episode is quite similar to the episode of Danny Phantom called Doctor's Disorders, when Tucker actually was terrified of going to hospitals as well as Josh. John O'Hurley, who played Dr. Carlson, actually has no distinct memory of filming this episode, which is kind of crazy. I know you guys are going to get mad at me. I mean, regardless, probably with all my opinions on these episodes, but we gotta shout out the foam finger episode just because, I don't know, everybody loves this one. It's definitely gone down in history as like one of the funniest Drake and Josh episodes, even though they had a lot more coming after it, which we're coming to. Just because of its creative format change into being completely flashback episodes. They also did this in Victorious when somebody committed a crime and they were trying to figure it out. I really like this concept. So after school, Megan tricks Drake into eating Josh's last toaster strudel by swapping Josh's warning note with a fake one giving permission, which is super funny.
Property of Josh, do not eat. Ha!
Oh.
This causes Drake and Josh to argue, surprise, unaware that Megan switched the note back to their places. That night, Josh refuses to go watch a Padres game with the family, still bitter over the foam finger incident from 8 years ago.
Never go to a Padres game again!
It's been 8 years.
Since what?
Since some rotten kid started a fight with me when I was trying to buy a foam finger.
You were 8 years old. Let it go.
He recalls getting into a fight with a boy who stole the last foam finger.
Didn't you get into a fight with some boy at a Padres game when you were little?
And this guy actually turns out to be Drake. Each remember the moment differently though. Josh paints Drake as rude and spiteful.
Ha ha, I got the last foam finger. Daddy!
And Drake imagines himself as the nice guy, even helping a dying British orphan in line.
May I please cut in front of you? Every minute counts. Aw, for the lava crud!
Their memories clash and the two end up feuding again, with Drake moving out of their room and crashing in Megan, snoring loudly.
What'd you do that for?
Get out of here!
And I like that we have an episode that takes their fighting to the next level. Like, we've never had Drake have to literally move out of the room before, but it's gotten that bad, and I like it when it gets that bad.
Can I help you?
To resolve things, Megan actually tracks down Lenny, who is the Padres Stadium worker from that day.
Who's your little friend?
His name's Lenny Spodnik, or you may know him better as the guy who sells foam fingers at the Padres games.
You used to sell foam fingers. I got promoted to bobbleheads.
And Lenny remembers the truth. Drake and Josh were both polite, let girls cut in line, and Drake accidentally got the last foam finger. But the real fight started when toddler Megan threw a cookie that hit Josh.
touch me. No, I didn't.
Making him think that Drake attacked him. Realizing this was all a misunderstanding, the boys make up and imagine themselves as elderly versions of themselves still bickering, which is definitely going to be happening. In the dream, old Megan throws a cookie at Josh again, reigniting the same fight. And it's funny that all the events of this episode are surmised in that moment when Megan gives them notes for the toaster strudel, and then also at the end of the episode. Like, that's just really good writing.
The girl did mention $100.
$100?
Oh, just pay him.
When Drake and Josh are fighting over who started the fight about the foam finger 8 years ago, it occurs in 1997, regarding what happened to Drake and Josh in the flashback. This episode is very similar to the Victorious episode, Who Did It to Trina. In both episodes, the characters recount their stories and going through different flashbacks. It's revealed that Drake and Josh met at a Padres game, which is really interesting backstory. I wish they brought it up a little bit more, but it doesn't seem relevant after this plot.
Why are you in here? Because this is the living room, and yeah, living!
Lenny Spodwick is a reference to Mike Spodrick, a cinematographer who works with Dan Schneider on many, if not all of his shows. Megan saves the day by calling the stadium where Lenny Spodrick works, and doesn't actually pull any pranks on Drake and Josh this time. A futuristic flash forward of Drake, Josh, and Megan at 97, 96, and 91 could also be seen in the resolution of the show where they fight over some hot food products, which are used to help people's GI tracts recover from GI illnesses. Ironically, Drake Bell's cousin is a former Padre pitcher, Heath Bell. Isn't that interesting? In one of Dan Schneider's other shows, Henry Danger, the episode Tears of a Jolly Beetle, a clip is seen of Josh saying his famous line, "I ain't calling you a truther," which is funny because it's a popular internet meme. But yeah, the idea of going through both perspectives of Drake and Josh in this episode is hilarious.
Josh, hurry! There's smoke in Theater 7! Smoke!
Now that we've covered all that, let's finally get to the best season of Drake and Josh, especially since it's objective and nobody else has other opinions about that. Yeah, that's just the correct season to like. No, I'm just kidding. But really, it is the one with the most gems, so it's kind of hard to ignore how good these episodes are. So finding a sleeper hit in one of these is actually a bigger challenge than I thought. But hey, I did have a couple episodes in mind because I knew this was one of my favorite seasons as well. So let's get into the next one, where Drake and Josh go to prison. Not for the first time, but probably the third time, honestly. Next we have Steered Straight. So Drake and Josh tell a story about how they went to the farm and Drake convinced Josh to tickle a cow.
I can't believe I have to stay in this house all weekend. See ya. I should have known cows aren't ticklish.
I knew cows weren't ticklish.
Apparently they're going to be in the house all weekend, and this is definitely foreshadowing, like, their plot is starting. Megan comes into Josh's room and takes his laptop to finish an argument about sprinkles.
I was doing my homework.
I'm on the phone.
And now I'm laptopless.
This is the time where laptops were so expensive and not really essential, so you wouldn't really have more than one or two in your house unless you were really, like, rich. It's not a fact, it's just my educated guess at the time. Drake tells Josh they got tickets to the Hailstones, but Josh is worried because the reptile room is 21 plus. Drake manages to get fake IDs.
Jefferson Steel Flex?
Yeah, I made it up.
Oh, really?
Which reminds me of the moments where iCarly has run-ins with the law. Those are always interesting. Drake has like a terrible argument against it.
10:30 because I'm pretty
It's illegal to use fake IDs.
Yeah, well, it's illegal to rob banks, but people do it.
Yes, people who are bank robbers.
I've never heard a kids show also mention drinking. Like Drake says, like, it's not like we'll drink, but like it's mentioned.
Yeah, dude, but everybody uses fake IDs. It's not gonna be a problem.
Then we smash cut to them being escorted home. Like, it didn't work, and it was so bad that they're literally being escorted to their house.
Dad?
Walter?
And the cops want to talk to the parents privately, so they make Drake and Josh go into the closet. Why do they do that?
Both of you up in the closet.
Closet?
Closet!
The cops suggest a steered straight program, which would scare the boys into following the law and obeying. A really unique concept for an episode. I'm excited to see something driven by the parents plot-wise. It's definitely really interesting.
Wait, aren't you the weather guy from Channel 2?
That's right. I am.
The cops recognize Walter and laugh at him because he's the weatherman. Why are the cops bullies?
Why does everyone do that?
So later, Audrey is fitting an outfit with Walter. Why is he wearing this dress? And I definitely copied this when I was a sophomore in high school.
Kennedy! This is exactly what it looks like.
I did this really weird sitcom about me being in the video production program, and I had this exact moment, like, copy and pasted.
You happy? I went to preschool 3 times for this.
I feel like tween television really inspired me to do everything I did in high school.
Here, let's get some water to wake her up.
Don't use that. That's polish remover.
If you ever want to see something like that, you can go check out Producing Problems. I'll drop a link here. Let's get back to Drake and Josh.
It's called the Steered Straight Program.
What? You boys need to learn how to act like men.
And they get a little reference to the other episodes, like the treehouse and all the times that Drake and Josh have been kind of going off the hinges, and it's true, like maybe they do need this steered straight program. So then the cops and the parents act out a real arrest.
What did we do? Hey, lots of glutes.
Wyatt.
Drake and Josh are terrified, of course, and Megan cries with joy. That is the funniest thing.
I've just never been this happy.
The parents explain that they're being put in a program, so it's clear. So while in the cop car, the cop ends up having to take down a criminal, and it leads him to put the grapefruit in Josh's mouth, and the criminal ends up stealing the cop car, thinking Drake and Josh are criminal as well. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Drake and Josh use their fake ID names to blend in with the robbers, and his name is Blaze.
Well, I'm a Jefferson Steelflex.
Alvin Yakitori.
As a kid, this moment scared me because, like, Drake and Josh get involved with bad people a lot. But I like how the stakes are just so clear, like why there's conflict. They say they robbed a store together and plan on hitting a house tonight. Drake is just trying to convince him to drop them off at their parents' place.
You're in.
What do you mean in?
I'm gonna hit the place with you.
Thank you. But we don't really need any help.
But the criminal says he wants in too. Josh thanks him, but they're too scared to not let him. They sneak in through Drake and Josh's window, which is really funny. I don't know how they get up the wall in the first place with those handcuffs, but whatever. They try to call the cops, and then we get another moment where Drake and Josh cannot use a cell phone, or the cell phone just doesn't work for them.
I'll hold it behind my back. You dial it with your nose. I'm not sticking my nose down there. Would you rather take your chances with a vicious criminal? I think so.
They tell the guy that they're planning on kidnapping the governor to try to scare him away and think they're crazy, but he's not scared and even says he's gonna call the crew. So this just gets worse and worse. Suddenly a bunch of criminals take over the house and have knives.
Hey, how'd you learn to do that?
Never look me in the eye.
Message received.
They attack Walter and pretend not to know him. They put him in the closet. And oh my gosh, imagine from his perspective. He sends them to prison and suddenly they're attacking him in his own home. It's like kind of dark. Like I would think my kids just completely rebelled.
Go, old guy, we don't know.
They try to figure out a way to get all the criminals out of their house, and Drake is like, okay, well, let's use your magic kit. So they end up faking a murder to scare them off.
And who's the one that's gonna make me? Oh, not again! Hey, take it easy now. Hey!
Like as if Drake would beat him with a banana, pull off his arm, and the criminals get so scared they literally run off. I can't believe it ended this way. I don't know why, it just worked really well. This was such a risky plan. Like, they're lucky they got away with this. And then in the last bit, the person wearing the prom dress that Walter was wearing comes in, and I don't know, I just feel bad for her. Then everybody's out to eat when Drake and Josh remember that Walter is still in the closet.
Dad, the closet.
But nobody's in a rush to help. Oh my gosh, guys. And this is how the episode ends. Just them at dinner. Overall, really, really good episode. See how these are so funny? It's like almost hard to compare it to the original seasons. Like that's why I wanted to do this video. I feel like we don't give enough appreciation to the episodes that came before this. But this one also is a sleeper hit because I just feel like better episodes came along. But I just thought the concept of real robbers getting involved is just so funny. I could not resist this one. But yeah, let's do one more. This one I feel like is one of my favorites of all time, and I'm surprised like people don't talk about it even today as much. Episode 16, The Battle of Panthar. So in one of the best cold opens, Drake and Josh are essentially talking to the camera, the viewer, like a kid. Kind of like Mr. Rogers or Blue's Clues style.
Do you want to be my friend?
Aw, thank you. What is that supposed to mean? You think I'm handsome? What a special thing to say.
And they even make fun of Hannah Montana in this bit, which I'm not a fan of.
Coming up next on Susanna, Louisiana.
Nope.
Apparently, Drake accidentally got canceled on for a date. She's in the hospital and can't breathe, and Drake is not sensitive about it.
I don't know, she called me from the hospital, but I couldn't understand her because she was having trouble breathing. Can I hit that lemon?
So a camera crew shows up at their house, apparently for MTV. It's for this kid in their class, this rich kid, Thornton. He's having a sweet 16.
Well, I'm turning 16 next week, and MTV showing my birthday party on Dude, I'm 16. On MTV? I love that show.
Another episode about a TV reality crossover. They're there to record him getting an invitation from Thornton, and it's so funny how bad they are at acting. Like this, along with the other Pimp My Room show, and even trying to fake out for those criminals. Like, Drake and Josh are terrible actors.
Thornton!
And fun fact, Josh Peck actually directed this episode. Did you know that? It's like insane. So apparently the party is going to be recreating a Galaxy Wars scene too. So it's like one of the most exciting parties of all time. Doesn't sound fun to me, but you know, it's Thornton's party, not mine. Drake ends up getting an album signed by the Beatles, which is something he's really excited about.
And he just gave this to you? Yeah, for free. And all I gotta do is stay away from his granddaughter.
Later, Thornton asks Josh what he should give to people. I don't know why he would ask Josh, like, he's admitted to thinking he's a dork. And then he actually catches Drake kissing his girlfriend at the premiere.
I'm sorry. He's just an awesome kisser.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. Thornton, you're way better. Kiss him. Kiss him right now.
No chance.
I don't know why he gets so angry at Drake. Like, it's clearly her fault. Like, she's the one who made the commitment, not him. He didn't even know.
Friend? Yeah, he didn't know she was your girlfriend.
You too. Uninvited.
Excuse me. No yelling in the theater area.
Thornton's mad. He uninvites them both to the party. Drake tries to apologize to Thornton, but apparently he got kicked out, and Josh is super sad about it. He then convinces him that maybe if he gives Thornton his Beatles album, maybe he'll let them back to the party.
Dude, I love this album more than I love myself. Dude.
Okay, but I love this album a lot.
They end up going to the party that night and giving him the gift. He says it's the best gift ever, but still doesn't let them in.
Come hey!
What?
Tell him to let us in. Yeah.
No.
But we just gave you the best present you've ever gotten. You said so.
Yeah, it is. Thanks. Still not invited to my party.
So Drake is angry at Josh, which isn't fair. Like, Drake, this is still your fault. You were the one who kissed his girlfriend. Like, I don't know why he's getting blamed. But it's so funny because Megan's at the party, which is crazy because, like, why would she benefit from attending this thing?
Well, can you get us in?
Can I bring a couple of guests?
Sure.
No.
They're probably all older than her and, like, I don't know why she would go. They break into the party dressed as the Galaxy Wars cast, and I'm assuming they attack them because I don't know where those other actors are.
Do you mind if we take the picture in that dark alley over there?
No, not at all.
Come on. No, it'll be really easy. It'll only take you a second.
Alley shit.
And they get to the present room in search of Drake's Beatles album to get away with it. But they're interrupted when the performance they were talking about earlier happens in the middle of Thornton's party, and they're needed for it.
Where are the other Skynauts? Oh, biscuits.
But, of course, they don't know the choreography, so they essentially get beat up in front of the entire party, which is one of the funniest karmic moments of all Drake and Josh to me.
You guys are supposed to duck. What are you doing?
And it's one of those episodes that make me think, like, are Drake and Josh the bad guys? Because, honestly, at this point, they cause more destruction than anything positive.
The Battle of Panthar is done! Back to the ship! Come on, let's get him.
In the end, they managed to get out of Thornton's party with the album, and I guess they won. I don't know how to feel about it, because it doesn't feel like a positive thing. In the end, they do one last fight with these swords, the lightsaber knockoffs, and it's a really good episode. I really like whatever Josh did to direct this. Although it does bother me because in Jeanette McCurdy's book, she talks about how she was promised to be a director in one of the episodes, and it never came to fruition. Meanwhile, clearly they were capable of it because Josh Peck and Drake Bell both directed episodes in this season. So it makes me think it's either a sexism thing or they just dangle that over actors' heads to make them act appropriately. I don't know, it's just not, it rubs me the wrong way. But yeah, overall, like, these were the best episodes of the entire series, and I don't think you can argue with me. If you want to see some of the worst episodes, I surprisingly made that video first, so you could go back and check it out on my channel, just pointing out the episodes I really didn't like from the show. But hey, it was a lot of fun being really positive this time, and actually talking about the ones I felt were really underrepresented, because you know what, we had so much fun in our childhoods. It doesn't matter what we do, as long as we watch Drake and Josh, I think everything's gonna be okay, question mark? Yeah, I don't know, that was kind of a, that was a weird way to leave it. But yeah, just thank you guys so much for watching. This is Johnny 2000, and for more 2000s content, make sure to subscribe, maybe check out my other channels, Johnny 2000 Secrets, or Johnny Tunes, to get a little bit of taste of other shows. But for the most part, thank you guys so much for contributing to this success, and thank you.